The story begins 5 years ago. Our main protagonist, Will, was 10 years old. He's looking completely depressed. Everyone around is mocking him. They are calling him a bait for attracting his friend. Since his friend achieved greatness, Magia Vander, they are telling there is no need for him anymore. The scene changes as Will, and a professor is there with him in the headmistress's office. The headmistress uses magic and gives a sword to Will. She again uses and surrounds Will with magic circles. He pushes the professor and uses his sword to destroy the magic circles around him without getting hurt. But even after he stops, he is completely emotionless and with a dark face. The headmistress laughs and says to other professor that she will approve Will's enrollment to the academy. The professor asks, "Are you sure about it, since boy here cannot use magic?" The headmistress says that it is fun to watch a sword yearns for wand. The boy asks if he can climb the tower if he studied at the academy. Tears flow from his eyes, and he asks if he became strong, can he see Effley, his childhood friend. She says that he has to work until his hands bleed and his bones break, and maybe the door closes and she says that it's your fault for not looking after him. The scene changes to classroom where the caring sensei is teaching them. He says that climbing the tower means advancing to the upper institute. If you are at top floor of Mercedes Callis, that is when you become Magia Vander, the strongest mage. To become Magia Vander, you must be accepted into the highest seat of learning the upper institute. There are two methods to advancing. First is to invent a new magic, and second is to earn 7,200 or more credits at this academy. Only few people have been able to invent new magic. But he shouts, "But all of you are hardly able to graduate. Forget about going to the upper institute." So the caring teacher is giving remedial lessons today. The class finishes, and Will gets out as S. Heroine is, and they go together. She says that the teacher's class must have been hard, right? He nods and says, from continuous practice to magic drills. She says that even though you have earned every theory credit, the caring teacher is so strict. He says he is hopeless in practical. And so that does not mean that he must give up, and says the teacher is really kind to offer them remedial classes. Others' teacher will generally not even bother to look at failures. She nods and says, yeah, she cannot see the crazy, scary teacher, even giving remedial classes. They see a group of people in Goon. One is saying that the red brat one shot at a strong monster. Really, let's see. Nope, nothing like that in my memory. A student from group asked a 10 credit by a single student. He not able to believe it. His goon says, when he woke up in the dungeon, the monster was already dead, and the reed brat killed it. They think that this red brat is going to be as strong as top 3. The red brat in his mind says that it was not him, and then when he sees Will, he gets angry and walks towards Will and grabs his collar and then says, "Are you messing with me?" No talent boy. The S heroines here runs and stops the red brat. He clenches his hand and goes, and his goons follow behind him. Will pick up his books. She asks if something happened between him and the red brat. He says, yes, just a bit. The scary professor comes to the headmistress' office and says that they must expel Will. While she is drinking coffee, she says, oh yeah, what is going on suddenly? She says that kid is already at 6th and final year. Now we cannot expel him. He says, but he is a warrior, not a mage. He has no place here. He cannot use magic but wants to surpass mages. She uses magic and brings the register and search for Will, and says that he tops his writing class and provides well and detailed reports. If left the fact that he cannot use magic, he is a top scorer. Other than becoming Magia Vander, he has unlimited potential. This academy's duty is to produce people for the fated day. The scary professor says that the problem is that he wants to become Magia Vander. That is a problem in that case. She asks him to test Will. Test him and you will learn truth about him. And if he cannot pass the test, you can do anything. Anything. Are you sure I am not soft like that? Caring sense? She says that she does not mind and will leave the content of the test to him, and with a smile, leaves the room. She smiles and says to herself, "Test him yourself, and judge him yourself." The man who knows most about Magia Vander Dark Viper Mage. The scene changes to locker room. The S heroine is using magic to open Will's locker, and Will is saying sorry as she has to always come with him to open his locker. She says that it is okay. Will takes out a bunch of books from his locker and says that he did not get permission to use his sword in the academy, and she locks the locker with her magic. The scene changes to the study hall where Will is studying with Calais. He is studying the fight of dwarves and mages. Calais says that you are already getting full marks. He says that he loves to study about dwarves. There are dwarves going to war with full armor and weapons to fight against strong mages. Do not give up, that is the most powerful magic. And he then closes the book. Calais asks, well, did the caring teacher teach you that? Will says that yes, and says, that is my favorite words, and that why I have to keep working hard. Calais says, you have a white hair. Will is shocked, and she said, I knew it. You are overworking yourself. Keep your finger on your check and give the cute pose she does this and ask, Will, shall I pluck it off for you? Will Hare makes a movement, and then he says that you do not need to. Scary Sensei says, take your love life business somewhere else. Kale replies that they were studying. The scary professor asks Will to come to the spell hall now. Inside the spell hall, and the scary prof says that he cannot see him keep failing in spell work, and says that he is offering him remedial class, so you should thank me. Will ask a remedial class from you? And just for me, that is hard to digest. Indeed, today, I am going to see of what you really made of. He instantly uses black magic and aims near Will's leg. He says that Will's task is to land a single hit on him, and you do not have any right to refuse. If you succeed, you will get 5 credits in spell work. But if you fail, you will be expelled. When Will is shocked from just hearing shock expelling. The scary prof casts his black magic and says that a no talent has no right to even look upon following their dream and ask, now, did I give you enough reason to fight? Let's begin. Creates a magic circle directly under his feet. The scene changes as the caring tech is entering the headmistress's office. He asks, why did you call me? And she replies that he should know about this adcast magic. Something like water rotates in the air. The magic shoes. The scene where Will is fighting with the scary prof. He sees this and asks, the headmistress, what is going on here? She says to Tech that the scary prof is now testing Will. So I forbid your interference. The scary prof uses magic, which Will barely dodges. He is comfortably firing lots of magic, and Will is having a hard time dodging them. The caring techer is concerned as the scary prof almost got the strongest mage title, Magia Vander. He may have failed, but he made it top of the tower of the spell Dax Darbicanson and blasted Will away. Will knows that it is a low-level dark magic, but even this spell was so powerful that if he got hit, he would have died. Will runs and tries to catch speed so that he can launch his kick, but it was easily stopped by a barrier. His defense was absolute, seemed unbreakable. At least it cannot be broken by a kick. The prof attacks him with a spell, sending him back, and uses a huge magic. When Will is in midair, Will falls. The scary professor is so strong that there is not a single opening, and his magic casting is so fast that it is hard to dodge his attack without a sword. Add the par in which he summons Magic Circle and tells about 27 Doctrine. Cast many Magic Circle, and now he is ready to completely destroy Will. He tries to run, but is blasted off by hundreds of magic spell. He tries to dodge it, but attacks follow him, and we can see our professor brilliant performance. His cloths torn, his hands scared, his breathing becoming heavy. He losing his hope to win. That is how scary it was. The scene changes to Kale in the locker room, who is worried about Will, and she is thinking weird things. The door opens as bleeding cats come to Kale. The cats knocks at Will's storage, and Kale opens it with her magic. The scary prof is walking towards Will saying, "This brat wanted to be Magia Vander, pinnacle of mages," and when Will tries to get up, Prof kicks Will's head and says that without magic you cannot ever reach top. And this is how this world work. Now give up and get out of this school while keeping his foot on head. Says that, you fool. Will says, even so, I will not give up, and uses all his strength to get up. The scary prof asks, what gives you so much power to go this far? Is it a noble cause to change this world? While catching his goggles, he says, I want to be with the girl I love. I want to keep my promise to my love. He completely thinks that it is a dumb reason and says, you want to reach pinnacle of mage to do? This is ridiculous, unreasonable, dumb, impure. It might seem trash to you, but I am going to see my love and see sunset together with her. Have shame, the prof shouts. Calethrow's sword will scathes it. Begone trash, will easily cuts it. Scary prof uses countless magic. Will is running towards the magic attacks. He jumps on the broken things, cuts all the magic jumps towards the ceiling of the room, gets a boost, and uses the momentum to cut the magic barrier, and lands a hit on the prof. And they are on a stalemate. There is scratch on scary prof check, and a blood of drops falls. The prof is annoyed but leaves and says that he will award him 5 credits in spell work. Collect catches Will, but will faints go to the Pokemon Center.